Okay, today's September 15th, 2005, and starting work on my new project here, the brush crush, and I brought up two giant tires with my truck here in the military trailer here 2 days ago on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. There's one of them over there. It's like a 26.5 by 25. This one right here is a 37.25 by 35. Ouch. Anyway, that felt good. Shouldn't step on there. Well, that thing got my foot. Ouch. Anyway, yesterday I was whipping this tire out in this general area, and a cheapy Harbor Freight chain that I was using, a 3/8 grade 40 or grade 30, I think it's a grade 40 chrome chain, decided to break right over here, and then the tire rolled down to where that dead snag is down there. Luckily it stopped, because it could have just followed that alley all the way down the mountain if it wanted to. But luckily it laid down on its side and grabbed enough earth and brush to stop it. But what was interesting, I used the truck's winch that I put in here. I had to wire it up last night, so I had just simply hooked it up mechanically. I didn't wire it in yet. Here's the wire going to the battery, or the starter connector right there. I have to insulate that wire better. They say this winch is rated at 8,000 pounds pull. Well, I exhausted its strength over here on the side of this road over here, and it was groaning to the point where it pulled the whole front suspension down on the truck. It nosedived, and I had it parked up there on the berm. So I pulled it up about 5 or 6 feet, and then decided to just hook a long series of chains up to the timber jack and replace the truck with the timber jack and doing the pulling, which I'm glad I did that. I should have done that to start with, but upon doing so, I had a real long chain, about 30 feet, hooked up to that tire, and I drug it through here. You can see there's a little bit of a swath put in there, about 7 feet wide. Anyway, that gives me a pretty good idea of how I'll go about doing these slopes so I can get even more acreage this way. This project here has a total of 150 acres, but only 75 acres is what they funded. That's pretty much a cap. So I'm going to go ahead and just take care of all the grass, all the easy stuff. That'll be the icing on the cake here, and then we'll proceed to do areas, and if I get bored I can come back and maybe knock down some manzanita slopes like this, because that manzanita is so nice and brittle. It's very easy to push it down, break it off. But yeah, I had to upgrade my chain today. Went down to a, what was it called? BC wire and rope. Bought some fairly large chain. Let's look at it back here. This is the Harbor Freight junk that I was using. It's only $17 per 15 or 14 feet. It's this 14 by 3/8. Has a working load limit of 5,400 pounds. Interestingly enough, I didn't break that chain at all when I pulled the tire out of there, but that 8,000 pound winch was just exhausted. It couldn't pull any further. I don't think that winch is rated at 8,000 pounds. I think it's more like 4,000, because I surely would have broke this cable if it were truly 8,000, if it exhausted at 8,000. This right here is 3/4 grade 30 proof coil. Has a slightly longer link in the link so that I can hook up through the sides a shackle. That way I can connect this together. Oh, there's a lot of insects out here. It's annoying. Ugh. Okay, so I'm running it through this tube, and what I've found is that when I tilt this backwards, it clears the back lip, alleviating it from any cutting or grinding or shearing into the metal. However, I may have to increase this length to bring the shackle down a little further. I was told that if your connection is too flat, not enough of an angle, not enough of a V angle like this, if it's too flat like this, you'll break the chain. But if you have a little more of a pronounced angle like that, a 45 or a 30, then it's much less strain on the chain. But I'm going through that tube, which cradles the chain. It's about a 4-inch inside diameter, 3.5 inch maybe. That's hard ox, very similar to AR. Well, I don't know what they call that stuff, T1 or something. 180,000 psi tensile strength. Okay, that's what I was told from Wagway. Probably some different metal. It's probably not what they told me. Who knows? Doesn't seem very hard. Can't weld to it. Welds tend to fracture from work hardening. That's why I took off all this front end stuff. I used to have the spicules or shear zones up here. The last project cleared about 65, 70 acres over there. And about 60 acres of just brutal, supposedly brush, but it was all hard oak trees that were 15 to 20 feet tall, maybe 30 feet tall at max. But it did a number to my teeth. Broke off one tooth here. I've had teeth break off about once every 3 or 4 acres, costing me several $100s in teeth replacements. But at any rate, I'm rigging up a harness to this big tire. The plan is basically one loop around the tire, like a choker, and then one through here. I have exactly, should be 21 feet of chain here. Probably should have measured it. Yeah, probably should. I think we'll pull it out and measure it real quick. It's supposed to be 21 feet. But I was calculating about 19 feet ideally. Takes 9 feet to go around the girth of that tire. I'm estimating about 3 feet to go through that loop. So that's 12 feet right there. And if we had 19, that'd leave me 7 foot, approximately two tire heights. Since this is 7 foot, I'll have double that to bring the boom up. I don't want to be lifting this up too high, because I'm already going to be destabilized in the slopes a little bit. But the plan is to just take that tire and whip it out here into the brush like a big chain whip. Drag line, and then when I get on the slopes up here where I've got a road or have a shelf that I can track on, I'll extend out another 15 or 30 feet of line and really wipe it out. That's all for now. Here's a remnant of a safety quick link. Here's a piece of this chain, and not sure where I threw that quick link. Must have set it over here somewhere. Here it is. No, that's not it. Yeah, I tossed it somewhere. Got a little bit more ground clearance going here now. This road is brutal. I had to put larger tires on the truck, increasing my ground clearance considerably, about 3 inches. They're 8-ply Denman 916s, bias ply, NPRs, like a NATO military tread for Vietnam. Here's another secret. Throw some oil on the front leading edge of the track slides. Whenever I have to track it down a long ways, I threw a little bit of oil on there and it made a huge difference on the wear and tear on the undercarriage tracking it. I had to track it in about 6 miles. Winch cable's pretty much squashed in several places. Well, I better get to work here so I can clear this brush, get a paycheck coming in.